Okay, so really I want to start with thinking what your first earliest memories were. I know you said the other day about Kingsbury being your first home, but what's the first thing you can remember?
The thing I can remember is perhaps playing in the garden in my house at Kingsbury, watching my dad doing the gardening. And I had a little boyfriend called Alan Murray. He had a three-wheel bike, and he used to let me stand on the back while he rode it.
So how old would you have been at?
4.5, 5.
4.5, 5.
Yes.
Alan, what about Alan? Did you hear anything?
I can remember
from him?
Alan Murray. No, of course not.
No.
Because he left there.
And Nana Reedy's mum lived next door.
And my mum, yes, she lived next door, had the house next door.
And did she still carry on living there when you moved to the shop? Or had she?
No, she died.
And that was all in Kingsbury.
Sorry?
Kingsbury.
Yeah, she was in Kingsbury, yeah. She had like it was a semi, we had one side of the semi and she had the other.
And then would you have started school there?
Yes. No, sorry, I did not start school there.
Were you evacuated
the
before?
war started and we went down to Stewartby in Bedfordshire and stayed only with my Auntie Rose and Uncle Harry because he was a staff member of the London Brick Company and that was his house down there for the wartime, war. And so we sort of evacuated ourselves with Auntie Rose, and that's where I started school.
Wow.
A little village school with a little fire with a milk on top and warmed on the stove.
How long do you think you were there for?
Not for very long. We came back because my mother wanted to buy a business, so she bought a shop.
So that's when she bought the shop?
She bought a shop, 1942 she bought the shop.
Wow.
Probably a good time to get one.
Yes,
in terms
well
of
it was
price,
a shop, it had been blasted, it didn't have a front window, it just had a little bit of plastic, what was left of a shop window. There was just,
Can you remember what it used to be before?
Oh, it's always been a newsagent's.
Oh, okay.
And we bought it off a working newsagent, yes. But it was in a pretty poor physical state, not
Because of war damage.
Because of war damage, yes, yeah.
Wow.
Only that, it was just the windows had been blown out, I think. Nothing major.
And where's that? Is that Wood Green or Henley?
No, that was at Parliament Hill Fields.
Parliament Hill Fields. And that's where you started school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it 5A Woodson?
Yes. 5A Woodson Road.
5A Woodson Road. That was.
Ever since we've had a 5 somehow in our addresses, haven't we?
Yeah, all the numbers added up to 5.
Yes, we seem to always had a 5 there.
There you
somehow.
go, so it started a trend. Wow. Okay, so that's Parliament Hill Fields then. And that's where you started school. And do you have much memories of that? Best friends?
Yes, because she had the shop, she wanted me to be at the nearest school to the shop, so she didn't have to worry about me getting home in the day. So I was sent to the local convent, which was the nearest school, which was quite nice, a nice school really. I was lucky in a way, because it was a nice school, nice place for me to be. And
some funny
also,
teachers though,
I was
weren't
just
they?
going to say, before you told us about the nuns, Mum.
Well, there was one, it's very unfair, mostly they were okay. Well, it's just that I wasn't very good at maths, and the maths mistress didn't have much patience with me. So that put me, that was one of the worst things. But other than that, it was good. And in the wartime, when the air raids went, they had huge cellars under the school, brilliant, because it's a big old school. And we spent, at that time walking through this area of underneath the school.
Wow.
To keep away from the.
Did you ever feel a bit scared if there was like an air raid went off when you're at school? Did you ever think?
Well, no, because it was lovely because it meant the lessons had finished. All together.
Yeah.
Down we went to
It just must have just become part of life.
Oh, it did,
just,
yes. And I used to pray that it was going to be maths.
I suppose as a child of 5, 6, 7, you don't have the fear of what the bomb would create,
Thank
would you?
goodness, my parents weren't worriers in that
No.
way. They were very practical. I mean, some people were very worried, lived in areas that were more dangerous. But I was very lucky, really. We weren't in a dangerous part of London.
Pup's always had a memory, I seem to
But
remember.
his parents,
They were worried.
very, very worried.
Didn't he
about
actually have an
it.
experience one time though?
I can't remember. I know he was very worried about
There was
it.
one time when he had to go and hide somewhere or something.
Well,
Maybe.
Probably because he
whenever you
nicked
heard
something, done something wrong,
whenever you
like
heard
that.
the siren, you just ran for
Yeah.
whatever you could run to.
Oh, okay.
But to me, I was small enough to think, well, it's just enough, just
Yeah.
happening. I can't say I ever felt as I was actually going to
Yeah.
be bombed.
No. Okay.
And a question I asked you the other day was, what was VE Day like? You asked you if you remembered it.
Oh, wonderful.
Tell
Oh,
us,
my goodness
yeah.
me. It was absolutely amazing. The news coming through.
Yeah.
Because you listen to every bulletin.
Of course.
Well, in those days, that's the most important thing on the radio anyway, because it was the news bulletins. Everyone had to be quiet when the news was on. No one must talk. It's always like that, because when that came, I can't tell you. You just cannot imagine what it was like to think that all of a sudden we were going to be all right,
Yeah.
and things were going to get back to normal.
And did you go up to London on VE Day?
Yes, we all went
Into
to.
town,
Everybody went to London on
Yeah.
it. Yes, and in fact we
Well,
got
who
on
did
a
you go
bus.
with? Who
We
did
got
you-
on a bus, and we were meant to be going to the West End, and he said, "Well, I can't get through there.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll just get through where I can." So he's
Yeah.
driving this bus wherever he could take us.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like that's how
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Who were you with on the bus?
Mum and Dad and John and Mab and Doreen and Austin and all our friends.
All of them.
And Auntie went, yeah, we all just a crowd of us went. We just did.
Yeah.
People climbed
Everyone
up that
did, right?
post.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. Americans are crazy because we had a lot of Americans in London
Yeah.
because they were daft anyway.
Yeah.
You'd see them hanging out of windows and
Yeah.
yeah. It was. It was a wonderful.
Can you remember like where you got to Trafalgar Square?
Yeah. I can't remember. Well, yes, we did get all
Yeah.
round. No, I think he ended up. The nearest he could get us was Waterloo. I think we were, and we had to
right.
sort of make our way through
Yeah.
from there. But it was like in crowds. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
You went where the crowd went. But it was just
Yeah.
so lovely. I
Yeah.
mean, 5 years was quite a long time. I'm thinking for the adults.
Definitely.
Really, it must be
What you
wonderful.
must remember is the atmosphere, because they would have been
Yeah, you never forget that
Yeah.
thing like that, do you? Like,
they would have been ecstatic after everything they'd been through, and you must have
Yeah.
picked up on the
And
atmosphere.
people were, I mean, people hadn't seen their husbands, they'd been away at war and things like that. All
Yeah.
that was going to change again, you know.
Cool.
So,
Nice one.